Hello there and welcome to RTM News. My name is Emmanuel Kurada, and without wasting much of your time, we're taking a look at the stories coming in our news for tonight, starting with the first story coming in South Africa. The past 25 years have seen a lot of positives, says Ramaphosa. South Africa has made a lot of strides in the past 25 years from ensuring there is a non-racial society to access to basic services and improving people's lives through the economy. These, according to President Cyril Ramaphosa, is to be celebrated as it made sure that black people are included in the economy. He was addressing the 25 Years of Democracy Conference at the University of Johannesburg yesterday. Substantial investments we have made in economic and social infrastructure, in providing houses, water and electricity, in expanding access to education and health care has undoubtedly improved people's lives, he said. There are several indicators of social progress, from the growth in the size of middle class to an improvement in education attainment, from a massive improvement in access to basic services to a decline in levels of poverty. Staying in this segment, Malema calls for Gordhan to be axed, vows to petition Concord. AFF leader Julius Malema says his party will hear to the Constitutional Court if a Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan's urgent application against the Public Protector Bosisiwe Mkhwebane is approved by the High Court, the Gauteng High Court in Pretoria. Malema said these while addressing calls of his supporters who were gathered outside the court yesterday. Gordhan filed an urgent application challenging the implementation of Mkhwebane's remedial actions against him relating to the so-called SARS rogue unit. Mkhwebane instructed President Cyril Ramaphosa to initiate disciplinary proceedings against Gordhan within 30 days of the release of the report. However, the minister wants the remedial actions suspended until his judicial review of the report is finalized. And in the last story coming in this segment, ANC offers a peace flag to DA to solve Western Cape issues. The ANC has pleaded with the Western Cape Premier Alan White not to waste his energy on fighting for control of the police and railways. Responding yesterday to Wine's State of the Province address, opposition leader Cameron Dogmore said the two projects were respectively a non-starter and a sideshow. The ill-conceived call for a provincial police force will simply delay and distract us from the real task of working together, said Dogmore. When it came to public transport, we needed to work together as all spheres of government to fix Metro Rail. A party political posture for a provincial rail service is a sideshow. Dogmore held out an olive branch to Wine, saying the ANC was keen to work with him in the spirit of the new dawn. After the short break, we'll be taking a look at the rest of African stories. Stay tuned.
Programs education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. Education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives is our focus. For quality programs, Wahi, education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at the stories coming in this segment, and it's coming from Cameroon. Riots in Cameroon's central prison. 4 inmates are reported dead after chaos erupted at the Condé Guil Central Prison in Cameroon's capital, Yaoundé. This was confirmed by the spokesperson for the country's main opposition party, the Social Democratic Front, after the library, computer room, and administrative offices were reportedly burnt down by some aggrieved inmates during a protest. Dozens of detainees who included political opponents and separatists took part in the demonstration streamed live on Facebook. They were demanding better conditions of detention in the overcrowded facility as well as their release. Following the incident, the former Prime Minister, ex-Public Health Minister currently serving jail terms, was reportedly transported to a hospital after sustaining minor injuries. Staying in these segments, South Sudan bans the singing of anthem in Kier's absence. South Sudan's Information Minister Kier said that the country's cabinet had banned anyone from singing the national anthem unless the president is present. Makwe told the AFP that different leaders and institutions were playing the anthems at whim, which was an abuse of the national tune, written shortly before the independence in 2011. For the information of everybody, the national anthem is only meant for the president, in a function only attended by the president, not for everybody, Makwe said. We are seeing now even a minister, undersecretary, even governor or state minister, whenever there is a function, the national anthem is sung. He said the President Salva Kiir's order was passed during a cabinet meeting on Friday. Taking a look at the last story coming in this segment, Gambia lieutenant implicated Jammeh in 2004 killing of a top journalist. A Gambian army officer accused ex-president Yahya Jammeh of ordering the 2004 murder of journalist Deya Hadara and admitted he was involved in the killing. Hadara, who was editor and co-founder of The Independent, The Point Daily, and the correspondent for AFP and Journalists Without Borders, was killed by unidentified gunmen in his car on the outskirts of the Gambia capital in Banjul in December 2004. The murder was widely condemned locally and abroad as another sign of Jammeh's despotic rule and his opposition in a tiny Western African nation. We opened fire. Myself, Aliu Jain, and Sana, Lieutenant Malik Jatta said at the public hearing before a truth commission, naming 2 other military officers in Hadara's killing. After the short break, we will continue in our Nigerian story. Stay tuned.
Programs education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. Education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives is our focus. For quality programs, Wahi, education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at the stories coming in this segment. 7 women make Nigeria ministerial list of 43 nominees. Nigeria President Muhammadu Buhari yesterday officially transmitted a list of ministerial nominees to the Senate for vetting and further confirmation. The move is part of an effort aimed at forming a new cabinet for the second term of the Buhari-Osinbajo administration. In all, 43 names were forwarded to the Senate. The Senate President Ahmad Lawan confirmed the receipt of the list and announced that lawmakers had postponed their annual recess for a week to enable them screen the nominees. Out of the over 40 names submitted, 7 were women. Amongst them, the immediate past Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed Kaduna, and sister of the immediate past Senate President, Bami Saraki, Kwara State. The remaining 5 profiled by local media portal Cable were Pauline Talin, a one-time minister under Olusegun Obasanjo, and the first female deputy governor in the northern region. Staying in Nigeria, Heather is a victim of politicized conflict, says Miyetti Allah. The National Secretary of Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, Baba Othman, insists herders and farmers are victims of politicized narratives of conflict between partners whose relationship is symbiotic. Othman, who spoke at a program tagged Stakeholders Dialogue organized by the National Orientation Agency in Abuja, also said that they were ready to accept any government policy aimed at ameliorating their suffering. The MCBAN chief said the herders should accept modern way of livestock production on the clashes between herders and farmers. Othman said, as an occupational association, we welcome any effort by the government to help our members who face multiple challenges in their daily activities. And in the last story coming in this segment, soldiers, troops invade Bayelsa community, raise houses. Troops of the 16th Brigade of the Nigerian Army yesterday allegedly invaded the Azambane community in the Ekemo local government area of Bayelsa State and burnt down houses after chasing away residents. The rampaging soldiers were said to be in search of suspected militants who allegedly killed 2 of their colleagues guarding a crude oil facility in the area. According to a community source who spoke on condition of anonymity, the suspected militant had come in a speedboat on Monday night and opened fire on the unsuspecting soldiers. While 2 of the soldiers died in the surprise attack, one of their colleagues was missing while their rifles were carted away. After the short break, we'll be taking a look at our international stories. Stay tuned.
Programs education and entertainment for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. Education and entertainment for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives is our focus. For quality programs, Wahi, education and entertainment for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Let's take a look at the stories coming in this segment. France tells Iran to return to compliance in nuclear deal, Foreign Ministry says. France's Foreign Ministry told a senior Iranian envoy on a visit to Paris on a Tuesday that Tehran had to return to compliance to the nuclear deal and take the necessary steps to ensure the de-escalation of tensions in the Gulf. Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi met President Emmanuel Macron in Paris. Macron has tried but struggled to initiate a mediation between Tehran and Washington over tensions in the region. These meetings served a reminder the Iranian president's envoy that we expect Iran to return quickly in accordance with its commitment under the Vienna Agreement and to take the necessary steps to engage in the essential de-escalation, the French ministry said in a statement. The minister was the chief of Iranian negotiator for the 2015 nuclear pact under which Iran agreed to curtail its atomic program in return for relief from economic sanctions. Staying in these segments, South Korea has asked Japan to cancel plan to remove the country from white list. South Korea has said this morning a Japanese plan to remove South Korea from a Japanese list of countries that face minimum trade restrictions would undermine their decade-old economic and security cooperation and threaten the free trade. Japan's planned revision of a law to take South Korea off its so-called white list comes amid a deepening row over compensation for wartime forced labor and after Japan tightened the curbs this month on export to South Korea of high-tech materials used for making memory chips and display panels. South Korea's industrial ministry said in a statement, Japan's removal of South Korea from the white list would be a very grave matter that would undermine the economic and security partnership between the two countries. It asked Japan to scrap its plan. And taking a look at the last story coming in this segment, Venezuela rejoins the regional defense treaty, but Guaido warns it's no magic solution. Venezuela's National Assembly approved a law returning the OPEC nation to a regional defense treaty yesterday, but opposition leader Juan Guaido sought to tamp down supporters' hope it could lead to President Nicolas Maduro's imminent downfall. Opposition hardliners had been pressuring Guaido to join the Inter-American Treaty of Reciprocal Assistance signed in Rio de Janeiro in 1947 as a precursor to requesting a foreign ministry intervention to oust Maduro, a socialist who has overseen an economic collapse and is accused of human rights violations. After the short break, we'll be taking a look at our sports story. Stay tuned.
Programs education and entertainment for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. Education and entertainment for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives is our focus. For quality programs, Wahi. Education and entertainment for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Let's take a look at the stories coming in our sports story. Maxim Dagashev dies after boxing injury sustained against Subriel Maitars. Russian boxer Maxim Dagashev has died at the age of 28 following injuries suffered in his IBF light welterweight fight against Subriel Matias. Dagashev was reportedly unable to walk to the dressing room after his bout was stopped by trainer Buddy McGill at the end of the 11th round on Friday. He was hospitalized with bleeding on the brain and underwent emergency surgery when but failed to recover. Staying in the sports story, Callum Hudson-Odoi agrees 5-year deal to stay at Chelsea. Callum Hudson-Odoi has agreed a 5-year deal worth more than $100,000 a week to stay at Chelsea. The England winger 18 handed in a transfer request in January after Chelsea rejected a £35 million bid from Bayern Munich, but he is set to sign a new contract before the start of the season. The youngster is understood to have been encouraged by positive words from new manager Frank Lampard, who said he wanted Hudson-Odoi to stay. The teenager, who is recovering from an injury suffered in April, is on track for a quick return to action, potentially as soon as September. Staying in the sports story, Joelinton, Newcastle signed Brazilian striker from Hoffenheim. Newcastle United have signed striker Joelinton from Hoffenheim for a club record £40 million on a 6-year deal. The 22-year-old Brazilian is Steve Bruce's first signing since he was named the club's new head coach on Wednesday, replacing Rafael Benitez. Joelinton scored 11 goals in 35 games for Hoffenheim last season, with 7 of those coming in the Bundesliga. He started his career at Brazil side Sport Recife before moving to Germany in 2015. The deal matches the previous club record fee of £20 million paid for Paraguayan playmaker Miguel Almiron from MLS side Atlanta United in January. And taking a look at the last story coming in this segment, Tour de France, A1 wins the stage 16 as Alaphilippe keeps the lead over Thomas. Australian Caleb Ewan won a bunch sprint to take stage 16 of the Tour de France, while Julian Alaphilippe retained the overall lead. Lotto Soda rider surged from deep to peep. Elian Viviani on the line in the name and takes his second stage win. Britain's Gerard Thomas crashed with his gears jammed with 130 kilometers to go. The defending champion sustained grazes to his left-hand side but finished safely in the bunch to remain 95 seconds behind Frenchman Alaphilippe. And those are all the stories we have for you for tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow, same time, same station. Do have a wonderful evening.
Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives is our focus. Well, for quality programs, why education